I was exiting some estate one time, and the guy in front of me started reversing. And I could only tell that he's reversing because I could see the movement of the car towards me, towards the car that I was driving. So I went back, I reversed back, and put the car in neutral, pulled my handbrake up, went out of the car, and went to talk to the guy and tell him, hey, your reverse light is not working. And I was like, really? Yeah, no, it's not working. All right, cool, sure. I remember a friend of mine, best mate of mine, used to sort of make fun of this whole thing that, I'm not an alien. There's no way that I can put the car in reverse and then run out to go check if the lights work or not, and then, know whether or not the lights work. And there's no way I can step on the brake and then go out there and check if the brake lights work. And yeah, sure, if you have a mate with you who can be able to do that for you while you check, or you do it while he or she checks, then I guess that works. But you don't always have that. You don't always have that with you. And I find it okay. Let me just give more stories before I get to the point I'm going to. Around COVID time, I was operating a shuttle company. So I was driving one day from Pumalanga to Joburg, and I was taking clients there. And around that time, we needed to have a permit for crossing provincial borders. So I was going from Pumalanga to Gauteng. There's a border that you cross between there. And I had a permit for that. But then that same morning, I exchanged cars with my business partner. So he took my car, I took the bus that we were using for transportation. Now, the permit that has my name on it was left in my car. And I realized this as I'm leaving with clients. And we worked on time, so there was no way that I could go back for that. I was like, you know what? I'll deal with the consequences of that. It's fine. It's okay. I wait. I left. I get somewhere and I get stopped by the cops. Lady says, show me your permit. I know I do not have that because I know for a fact I left it in the car. I can literally visualize where it is. It is in the glove box, cabin, or whatever it is that you call it. That is where that thing is. I do not have it with me here. And, because I was honest, I was upfront about, look, I left it in the car back home. I don't have it with me. Immediately, I was to get a ticket. Okay, fine. It's okay. It's a ticket. I'll deal with that. So now I'm like, she's writing the ticket and all that stuff. And I'm like, so why am I getting a ticket exactly? Because now it starts to ring like, no, man. Am I supposed to be getting a ticket for this? A traffic officer is supposed to give you a ticket for not having a permit. And then she tells me, no, you don't have an operator's permit. I'm like, wait, a what? Operator's permit. I'm like, operator, I don't need that. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that what you're talking about? That I don't need that. I don't even have that. I've been to the authorities to apply for that, and I was told that I don't need that. So the way we work is different, and they told us that we don't need to have that. I thought that you were talking about a travel permit to cross borders because you just said permit, and the permit that I know that I don't have is that one. Yes, I know I don't have this one either. But that's the one I thought I didn't have that one. No. You've got the wrong. I don't need to have that, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. So, okay, what do we do now? She was like, well, I've written the ticket already. There's nothing I can do. You have to pay like 5 grand right now, or we confiscate the car. Mind you, this is the middle of, not Norway, but it's in the middle of our journey. We're traveling from Bushbuck region, Mpumalanga. We're going to Pretoria, Johannesburg. And we're right in the middle. In fact, we're exactly in Middleburg. There's no, and it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. So there's just no way. First of all, I don't have 5,000 rands. Secondly, I don't feel good about paying for something that officials told me I should not pay. Had a whole back and forth. She transferred me to her superior. I went to talk to him. At some point, he started ignoring me. He wasn't listening to me. So I was like, you know what? I have my license. I can take off the ticket another day. I went and I jumped into my bus and I went. Guy chased me. It was a whole thing. He wanted my license. Like, nah, dude, I'm not going to give you my license. I did the right thing. The thing you're telling me to do, that I should go apply at the offices, whatever, whatever. I've done that. I have done that. I'm doing the right thing here. I'm trying to lead a good life. I'm trying to create employment. I'm trying to add positively to the economy. You, on the other hand, are trying to hinder that. There are clients in that vehicle that are trying to get somewhere. You are just hindering that. Like, literally, I'm not hurting anyone. I went to apply for this. Essentially, your colleagues told me that I don't need this. And now you are telling me that I need to pay for not having it, not having to pay for something that I don't need. We had a whole back and forth about that. But eventually, he took pictures of the car, took pictures of me. I drove off, I left. I think that was like an hour, 2 hour delay or whatever. But fortunately, none of my clients were catching planes or anything. So, they sort of understood that, and I tried to explain the whole situation to them, and that moved on. Another story. I'm sorry, this is not just about stories. There's a point I'm trying to make here. I was in Pretoria. I don't remember what office I was going to. So I just got a friend of mine had borrowed me his phone. He wasn't using it. So I wanted to get a screen protector for that phone. I think I had a cover already, or maybe I was getting the cover from that guy as well. I don't remember. So when I get to those offices, there's a guy downstairs. He's selling these things. I'm like, I actually need this. So, I give him the phone, and he's supposed to, put on the screen protector. So I go into the office, leave him with my phone and everything, go in there, do whatever I need to do. I come back. He's fitted the screen protector, but it has bubbles inside. It has this dust, and I'm like, I'm not happy about that. Please do redo it. Just put a new one in. Fine, guy agrees to do it. And I actually let him do it in the car that I was driving because it was a bit windy out. So I understand why he struggled to get that done. So in the car, he gets to do it nicely. But then just as he gets into the car, he starts saying to me, the cops took my stuff. So he's holding my phone, so I know he's not talking about my phone. But what do you mean they took your stuff? And he's like, yeah, they took my stock. All of it, it's gone because, they took it. I got really frustrated. This guy is providing a service. I needed that service. I needed screen protector. I was gonna compensate for that screen protector that he messed up, even though I understand you're the one who messed it up. But I understand, look, he's just trying to make do with what he has. I mean, he's outside, he's in the wind, he probably doesn't have money to afford shelter that's going to be able to protect him from the wind and then protect him from dust in providing his service. So I was going to compensate him for that. I was just going to pay for the one that it ends up ultimately putting in. I was going to maybe pay half price for the other one. Say, okay, look, I made you waste that one. But I'd rather have no bubbles than to have bubbles because it's just going to do my head in. So the frustrating part for me was that law enforcement did not take his stuff because they suspect he stole it or because they know he stole it. Because if that was the case, they would have arrested him. They took his stuff because he's an illegal vendor. The point I'm trying to make with all these stories is it does not feel to me like law enforcement and the laws and the lawmakers actually have the small guy in mind. I don't think they actually care. Perhaps at a larger scale, at the scale where they actually develop this legislation, maybe there they do. But when I think about the ground level, the people who are now then meant to enforce these things, it just feels to me like they don't care. If a policeman is going to stop you, a traffic officer is going to stop you and tell you about your reverse light or your brake lights, I think there should be some system of giving a warning that then can be detected by the next policeman or policewoman. Because honestly, I just got a new job and they just bought me a new car, and I don't know. Well, they didn't buy me a new car; they bought themselves a new car. I don't know what the lights back there look like. I don't know how many reverse lights I have. I don't know how they light up. I've looked there, but every time I look, I'm not able to press on any pedal to be able to see what's happening there. And going back to what my friend said, I'm not an alien that can somehow press on whatever button or pedal or switch needs to be pressed and then somehow be able to look behind the car to see if stuff is working. We are all human and we should all understand that simple fact. But for some reason, you immediately get punished for not doing that, for not being able to detect that your brake lights are not working, that your reverse lights are not working, that a certain park light isn't working at all. How do I detect that? How do I know that? Unless someone like you perhaps goes as a police officer, you go and stand and say, hey, step on your brakes, and I step on them like, yo, bro, stuff ain't working. So I'm just gonna put it on the system, this number plate, brakes are not working, and that's just gonna be flagged. So the next officer who stops you, if they found that you've actually been told about this 2, 3, 5, 10 days ago, and you haven't sorted it out, then we can give you a ticket. Instead of just giving me a ticket right there, and they're like, how was I supposed to know that? Because I'm gonna fix that today, and then next week the brake lights are gonna be broken. And how am I gonna know that they are broken? It's a vicious, it's a crazy thing. And maybe I'm attached to this because the first ticket I ever got, even though the guy ended up writing a seatbelt, but the first ticket I ever gotten was my mother's car, and her reverse light wasn't working. I didn't know that. Did I know? I don't think I knew that. I don't know that it's not working. Again, not an alien. I can't do that funny stuff. The man I fought with in Middleburg is an elderly man. He seemed older than my dad. I'm a very respectful guy. I respect people. Doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, as long as you're a human being, I'll respect you. Even more so if you're an elderly person, because I still believe in the values of community, and I really believe that an elderly person is my father, is my grandfather, is my brother, is my uncle, and I give them the respect that they need, that they deserve. It takes a lot for me to start arguing with an elderly person. I remember this one time I was at the airport. This man started arguing with me. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, it's cool, it's chill. Please just, I'm just here for like 3 seconds or just for 3 minutes. I'm just gonna drop off stuff because I was delivering stuff there. Just gonna drop off stuff and then I'm gonna be out of the way. Just, I'm not disturbing anyone like this. No one uses this way. No one uses this road. I'm just here 3 minutes. Just let me deliver my stuff and then I'm out. Like, I'm not fighting with you. He kept on. I'm like, please, just let me do it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be out of your way. And he kept on. And then I snapped and I started going at him. It really takes a lot for me to get there. And the fact that this man here, the one in Middleburg now, really got me to the point where I really try to hold myself back. Because, with law enforcement, it's really quite easy to get yourself entangled in much deeper stuff than you're already in. So I did not want to be disrespectful. But he really pushed me that day. And it really made me mad that this man, who I'm regarding as my father, does not see what I'm trying to do. All he sees is just a young black kid who has no values or morals. I'm telling you, like, look, sir, I understand what you're saying. I even showed him pictures of the form because I don't have the form with me. This is the form we submitted. The form you're talking about, you see, it's filled in. We've actually done this. It just so happens we had pictures because I think wanted to scan it or something. So my business partner sent me pictures and I had the pictures. Here's the form you're telling me I should fill in. I've gone there to submit it. It did not work. They told me I do not need this. You now telling me on a Sunday when we cannot even call anyone to double check if what I'm saying is true, that I should now be stuck here with these clients who are female. You don't care about them. You don't care about me. You don't care about what I'm trying to do. You don't care about the fact that I could be drinking. I could be doing all sorts of stuff. It was around Easter time, if I'm not mistaken. I could be just doing all useless stuff, but I'm here working. And you could not, at the very least, from your standpoint, turn a blind eye to say, okay, this guy says that he's done this. He's showing me pictures that he's done this. It's a Sunday. He doesn't have money. He's a little kid. He's a black kid. We know each other's struggles to an extent. He couldn't give me the benefit of the doubt. that really really got to me. And then we come to this vendor guy in the streets who's had his stock taken. And I've heard of stories of, police people taking some other lady's stock, and they have some vegetables and they take that. And that stuff really frustrates me, because this person, whether it's a woman or a man, whether they're selling this or that, they're trying to lead a decent life. A thought that I had is that you don't find street vendors in the ocean. You don't find them in the middle of the jungle. You don't find them in the middle of the desert. That's not by mistake. You only find them where they are needed. If they're not needed there, they're not going to be there. So when you, as law enforcement, actually removes street vendor from somewhere they are, for whatever reason that might be, you are neglecting the fact that we, as the consumers, actually need these people there. Neglecting the fact that we come from disadvantaged backgrounds, neglecting the fact that there's so much paperwork that has to be taken care of, and people cannot read, people cannot write. You're expecting people to go to some office and go and register and have a company, and then go to deal with a bank where gonna need to deposit certain amounts of money and then have certain charges every month. That is horse dump. Let's understand where our people come from. Let us understand what they are trying to do. Yes, if a person is speeding, I can understand that. A person is speeding, that is something you are conscious of. You do that consciously. Give me a ticket right then and there. I totally understand that. If my tires are finished, I don't need to be stepping on any pedals to see that. I can just see that. It is visible. Yes, tires are very expensive, and maybe you might want to be, reasonable to that person, because on top of paying the ticket, they're going to still have to then go and buy the tires, which again are very expensive. And look, the way the economy is set up is we are really trying to get ahead. We are trying to serve. And I guess most importantly, we're trying to build the economy. But it seems like the state fails to see that. It just feels like law enforcement fails to see that. Ministry of Small Business Enterprises, SMEs, or I don't really remember what it's called. I feel like y'all should step in. Y'all should probably try and be more lenient towards these things. If people are in the streets and they're selling, and maybe they're not allowed to be there, or maybe you don't like the way they're set up, talk to people, engage them, figure out what they want, figure out what we want. Do we really care about the aesthetics of the place, that, there's this guy selling here and then it makes the whole place not look nice? Well, then let's bring in architects. Let's bring in architects. And again, I don't know what I'm talking about, so maybe all the stuff I'm talking is just impractical, but let's bring in architects. Let them build certain structures there that are going to accommodate these people who are trying to not only lead a decent life, but who are trying to serve us for the things that we actually want and need. They are not in the middle of the jungle where no one needs them. They are right there where we actually need them to be. Let's clean it up then. Let's make it look fancy. I've seen in some taxi ranks and some other areas, they've built these shelters where people can then come in and then set up their stuff. Let's do that. Let's show that we actually care about growth. Instead of giving people $350 and all that other stuff that we give them, how about we invest in our people, in our people's abilities, in our people's capabilities? Let's give them the shelter. Let's give them the space. Let them build there. People who aren't really upholding certain things, if you need them to have certain certification or whatever, let people around this, recruit people, get people to come there. Hey, are you registered with this? No, I don't know what that is. Okay, let me tell you what this is. You are not allowed to be here as it stands right now, but here's the form that you can fill. Just fill it up and fill up all your details, and we'll submit it. And then stay here, give us your contact details or whatever. We'll contact you, and once the process is done, we'll give it to you. You are already here. You are showing initiative. You have gone out to buy your stock wherever you've got it. You have come from wherever you come from to here. You definitely don't stay in the town. There's very small chance that these people who are selling there stay in the cities. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about. But they probably come from the surrounding townships. That's the word I was looking for. They probably come from the surrounding townships. They come there with all the things they have, and they come here to try and lead a decent life, to try and provide a service, to try and sell us a product. And you are just throwing a little finger into their faces and telling them, y'all should just get out of here. It really frustrates me that the little guy really struggles to get ahead, that the little guy really does not get any compassion. The little guy really gets little help. It feels to me like we're just stomping on the people who are just trying to peek through, like, hey, look, I don't have much to offer, but this is what I'm coming with. And we're saying, yeah, no, that's irrelevant. Whereas the people are actually patronizing these people. Like, yeah, no, we want this. Oh, yeah, this is what you bring. Yeah, I mean, I came all the way from Midrand. I was in Pretoria, and this guy was right where I was parked. It was so convenient. I was parked here. He's standing right in front of me. Like, yo, dude, I need this. I give him my phone. And I left my phone with him. This guy's not a thief. He could have literally disappeared. I don't know who he is. His stuff is like a carry-on. It's carry-on size. He could have disappeared with my phone. But he did not, because he honestly wants to provide a service. But the police treated him like he was nothing. So my point in all this is that I think that we should just relook at this, especially at the higher levels, and as well as the police people, most of which are, again, the vast majority of people in South Africa is black. So most of the policemen, most of the vendors, most of the anything that you're gonna find is going to black, except for most of the millionaires. Most of the people you're gonna find are going to be black. We should at the very least understand what we've gone through. We should at the very least understand where we've been. I think we should be the word compassionate. We should be compassionate. I feel like that's not really the word I was looking for. But anyway, we should show a little more compassion towards each other, towards the fact that a lot of people don't actually have the knowledge to do things properly. They don't know. I mean, I'm I educate myself on a lot of things daily, but there are certain things that I don't know about. And if I, who is a very well read, very well educated guy, cannot or does not know about certain legislature and certain rules, honestly, how do we expect that from some guy who's selling stuff from the streets? On the streets, I feel like we should understand that he most likely doesn't know. Let us inform him. Let us help him. After we've done that, and 3 weeks down the line, he has not sorted it out, or we have not helped him sort it out, yet he is still here. Now we know that he knows, and he's just throwing it in our faces. Then we can punish him. But at least we know we've tried to help him do the right thing. We have attempted to help him grow. We have attempted to help him grow the economy. And I think that's the most important thing here, not us just gatekeeping, us building the South African economy for the South African people, whether it be black, white, Indian, colored. I don't know what